The decision has been taken now. It's probably a decision I made a couple of weeks ago with regards to we would need to bring somebody in. It was obvious for me that it was going to be a bridge too far, and we need to turn around our current form, and the game at Telford didn't mask that in any way. We still need someone to come in to galvanise the group and take us forward. And I've known Mark, we were at Birmingham together how many years ago, too many to mention, so we've known each other a long time. I know his strengths and know what he can do for the group, and so I think it's a great opportunity for him and a great opportunity for us.
Is your feeling that you mentioned galvanise and to motivate and to get the lads going again, that's what you feel he'll bring to the table?
The direction, I think at the moment the most disappointing thing is that we're falling between two stools. We don't know what we are as a team, and we've lost that ability to play forward quickly and play with intensity at home. Away from home, I think the Spennymoor performance was very good, and then obviously at Telford we were very good. Those are different challenges, but when you're playing at home you have to set the tempo, and quite alarmingly I think for us Saturday the ball was in play for the lowest amount of time that we've had on record, and that just shows you the stop-start nature of the game, and we can't allow teams to come here and control the tempo of the game like that. We've got to control the tempo of the game. We have to play forward with intensity, and we have to put them on the back foot and get our crowd involved in the game. And Boston and Saturday, certainly we didn't do that.
Have you been able to discuss what it is you want between now and the end of the season? Obviously to finish as high as you can. Is it as simple as that?
No, I think it's more about playing identity. I think it's about that, about us being aggressive in our nature. And I'm a great believer if performances are right, results come. And so let's first and foremost concentrate on what we can do to get the performances right, that our fans can appreciate what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve, because all of the patience that we built up over a couple of years in the fans understanding that we were moving the ball backwards to go to the opposite side quickly, we're not doing it quickly, we're doing it slowly, and so we're ended up being a backwards and sideways team, which is not what we're about. We were never about that. We were about attacking one side, switching play and attacking the other side, and we're not. We've slowed the game right down because of there's a confusion. There's new players. Obviously we've got a lot of injuries, and there's new players and young kids coming in, but we've got now that group is not going to get any weaker. It's only going to get stronger through players coming back from suspension and injury. We've got to galvanise that group to understand what we're about, get on the front foot and attack the game for the rest of the season, and wherever that takes us, it takes us. And I'm really genuinely not worried about that at the moment, because if we get it right, I know things will come right. But first and foremost, what we have to do is to be more aggressive in our play.
And we said this a few weeks ago, didn't we? And I guess if you don't think, or rather you think a bit less about the final outcome, winning a league or reaching the playoffs, you're actually more than likely to get there, aren't you?
I think people concentrate too much in this day and age in end results and forget the steps it takes. There's too many times everybody worries about, well, if we win these games and we average this amount of points, and if we can just stay unbeaten on this run, you can only really affect the next game, and the only thing you can focus on is the next game, and that's the only way to take football. And we've got to get back to that. We can't start thinking about ifs, buts and maybes, and we certainly can't affect what's gone on. We're 2/3 of the way through a campaign. The first third was okay. We scored. We got a decent number of points. The second third has been a disaster, and now we've got a final third, 14 games to go, where we can start to be more like us, be more aggressive, and try and put as many points on the board as we possibly can. But you can only do that one step at a time.
And Russ and Jim, who you've spoken very highly of over the last few weeks, their involvement will pretty much stay as it is?
Absolutely. Those guys have got futures at the club, because they're very bright, very intelligent, very organised, great careers behind them. They're doing all they can now to get fully qualified, and they're sponges, and I loved working with them myself, but I haven't got the time to give it, and they were doing more work than me in the end, and that's not the way it should be in any organisation. The man at the top needs to be the one that works the hardest, and that's, for me, that's not my role. My role is to organise this football club that we can survive, and we can thrive. That hasn't changed. So having someone like Mark who's local, and the important thing for Mark is he knows the league. He knows the kind of players that can have an effect on this team and this league. He knows every local manager in professional football, which is important sometimes when you're looking for favours, or even for sort of 23s games and things like that. Just the ability to pick the phone up. So he's got a great contacts book, and he'll be a fantastic addition to us, I'm sure.
Now, it would be disrespectful, obviously, to Mark's body of work in football management to suggest this is anything like an audition of sorts, but there must be, I guess, an eye for the long term if it does go well.
For both of us. For football's such a short-term game anyway now. It's a case of, well, you've got the shirt, go out and play. It's, so it's for both of us. We can't afford to make any more mistakes because those are costly as a club. And personally, I've got to put my hand up and say that, the responsibility stops with me. And so, I think there's a mixture of professional knowledge, professional organisation, professional qualification against a knowledge of the level, an understanding of what it takes to win matches at this level, and understanding also that the majority of the teams that we play against, because we complain about the workload of our players, but most of those lads get up and go to work on a building site or whatever it is on a Monday morning, and they train twice a week, and we've just got to get out of this mentality that, our lads have worked particularly hard. Yeah, but put another 40-hour shift on top of that. Well, Harry Higginson aside, who still works at McDonald's till 11 o'clock before a game, putting that to one side, we've got to appreciate that the edge that we have, we've got to use to the max. And so that means training harder and longer with more intensity and more intelligence. That's what we'll do.